With a groan, the goblin notices some soot on his jacket. He brushes it off. This isn't exactly my first trap. But we usually hire third parties to disable them. So you're saying you're a bit of an expert on this stuff? You ever hire any clerics? You can't even take care of your own territory? You're outsourcing? So you're saying you're a bit of an expert on this stuff? Depends on who you compare me to. Rooting around in his pouch, Snell finds a tiny green sphere. He smacks it against the ground and it begins to flutter up into the air. Sprite spirit. Point at the light. I don't have to ask because I figured it out. Cool sprite. Thanks. Sadly, it's my last one. Then the goblin leans back against the dungeon wall, making sure to check for any trap mechanism beforehand. Look, I work mainly in Upper and Lower Tolstad. The city below is not my responsibility, usually. So apologies if I don't have these magically shifting tunnels memorized like some veteran adventurer. Apology accepted, no need to apologize. From what I've read, the city below is incredibly dangerous. And I apologize for not manifesting a divine intervention. No need to apologize. Damn right. The old guard used to deal with the tunnels all the time, but since Earth's death, that work has been entirely relegated to the 3 goblin tribes. It's sad we clerics don't get to delve these days. Don't want to leave all the fun to you goblins. I've never seen a tunnel shift, and I've gone through a fair amount of them. I thought the shifting tunnels thing was a myth. Thing was a myth. It's not. He states it plainly and quickly, as if he's had to prove it often. This place, it's real close to the garden, right? Sure. Wasn't here a couple of months ago. Between the garden and the water lane sewers, I'm 100% sure there was a slanted hallway full of frozen spikes. We boarded them up as well as we could at the time. Boarding up. That only lasted a couple hours. It moved around? Yeah, it moved around. All of this shit does. The esoteric madness down here was mostly managed after the conquest. The conquest, the correct way of referring to the historical event in which humans founded Norway. Most humans, however, refer to it as the reconquest. But it still rises at times, in spurts of violence and esoteric randomness. The goblin has no proof of his inane theories. Hallways don't simply move around, not without powerful arcanists around. That's insane. I figured all of the shifting calmed down after the conquest. Can you prove it? I'll go with the first one, I guess. It didn't. Or I mean, from what I understand, your dead god and his paladins used to keep things clean. But nowadays, it's getting weirder by the day. But hey, now you're here, so you can take on this esoteric bullshit, right? Do well and I'll buy you a beer. Deal? Sure. Wait, right, you're not allowed? I am not, no. Maybe a little one. A tiny glass? Tiny glass of beer? He shrugs. It's not like they have a way to check, right? No, they do. They do? They scan us. They scan you? Detect poison and disease. They check us sometimes. Detect poison and disease. Oh shit, I keep forgetting you're like an actual cleric. No alcohol at all, eh? That took a while to unfold. Of course not. Intoxicants are the work of evil and chaos. As clerics, we must abstain to maintain our fight against discord. Plus, we cannot cloud our minds. We must remain vigilant so we can fulfill our sacred quests and make sound judgments upon our people. I don't like the taste. I'll go with I don't like the taste. Oh? So you've tried it at least? Shameful past. Those were the days. I was a wild kid. Of course, I'm not a square, Snell. Wasn't my thing. Of course, I'm not a square, Snell. Oh no, of course. You're practically a circle. But trust me, the city below is very esoteric. Snell is more than correct. The grand power present in these ancient halls has compounded over eras. All while the mystery of the pillars, these relics of the Gate War of Jor is left as a hole in our collective understanding. We do not know why the city below is so esoteric. We cannot know, not in any sensible manner. But if you listen, if you feel the vastness by just sitting here, deep inside the belly of the whale, then you know all too well the mind-consuming truth. The city below city is alive. Nod somewhat. It's also really fucked up, which explains why your beloved city would give up the property rights to a bunch of goblins, huh? He laughs. A sad laugh. These last couple of years, there's been more and more Reedsian scholars delving to study it. The old lady doesn't let them in on her turf, of course. Chasing them away is one of my many jobs. Politely, of course. I'm not some syndicate gangster. But the other tribes are more accepting. For a ton of a coin, of course. What is your job exactly? Nice work, by the way, with the trap. So remind me, what's our goal down here? I've been meaning to ask, but what can you tell me about Lady Sageleaf? Gesture towards him. It's good to see this. What is your job exactly? I'm a runner and handler of the HWBT. Look at him until he actually tells you what he does, so you're a sexy rogue like me. Look at him. He crosses his arms. I do a ton of stuff, okay? I run errands for the old lady, anything she needs. I also make sure our operations run smoothly, everything from the apartment rentals to the CBS, city below security, anything the old lady needs, I do. So you're a custodian? No, that's... You see his face contort into a painful expression. Gods be damned, custodian might actually not be that far off. My job mostly just consists of talking to people, cleric, like we're doing right now. A lot of talking and a lot of running around. He takes a deep breath. Exactly what we're doing right now, just without the light dungeoneering. Nice work, by the way, with the trap. Don't mention it. My cat speech isn't the greatest, so I'm not sure what I expected. But we're alive. That's all that counts. He's a bit shaken up over it. As are you. You okay, by the way? No serious burns? No need to visit a healer or anything? No, I'm okay. I'm very good at abjuration magic. It's fine. Is cure wounds? I'm not that well versed in which school of magic which spells belong to. I've never played a wizard before. The only thing I kind of have in my head for the most part is what is illusion and what is enchantment, because I do have a campaign going where I'm a great old one warlock, so I can do those without components, which is nice. So I don't know if a healing spell is abjuration. I'm not sure. I'm very good at abjuration magic. It's fine. Abjuration? He scratches his chin. That's the protect tomato one, right? Tomato? Tomato? You are hungry. Understandable. You have not had a vegetable for a very long time. That's the one? Right. But wait, is all healing magic abjuration? Because that's the one that protects, right? A shield is protection, but healing sounds more like... sounds more of a post-protection thing to me. It used to be necromancy, right? Ages ago. You're questioning my esoteric knowledge? It's a bit more complicated than that. The esoteric can be malleable after all. Don't lecture. Well prepared to lecture? It's a bit more complicated than that. The esoteric can be malleable after all. Interesting. Well, I learned something new today. How lovely. So, remind me, what's our goal down here? Our missing witness. Frank, son of Frank. We know he went down here. We're lucky Moongor saw him, even if she didn't let him pass. Even if she did let him pass with that magic. So he could have left to the south caverns, but those are some deep holes. My guess, he entered the area right here, probably through the sewers. He clears his throat. A missing paladin added. Or you find that missing paladin I've been reading about. Lord Gorm. Lord Gorm, the last anointed paladin of Earth, one of the original faces of the party of Norwich. He went missing months ago, and many believed he has abandoned his post. You think he went down here? Honestly, I'd say so. A paladin looking to relive the glory days. I could see that. Dungeoneering for dangerous monsters, getting loot, dying in some inglorious trap. He gestures towards the fire hallway. You think Mr. Gorm would survive that on his own? You seen him? A few times over the last year, coming and going, never talked to him. He didn't seem like the type to talk with goblins, you know? There were some scandalous comments about him in the papers last week. Ah, yeah, about him being outed from the party, right? Look, I think they just couldn't have a missing paladin on the ticket, you know? Don't read too much into it. You think he's alive? No way. Doesn't matter how big of a paladin he is. You go down solo into the city below, and then you go missing for months. Guy's gone, no doubt. Maybe we'll find his body. No, he's alive, I know it. I don't really care. He left the party behind. I don't care about his party, I don't like it, so maybe we'll find his body. That might be for the best. Or we'll find a very fancy paladin zombie. But what do I know, he shrugs. You're the cleric. You're starting to get it. I am the cleric. Day by day I'm starting to be more roguelike. It's the dungeon that does it, I think. No, I'm a wizard, you know? The spells, remember that? I'm more of a primal spellcaster. You're starting to get it. I'm the cleric. You sure are. I've been meaning to ask, but what can you tell me about Lady Sageleaf? There is no denying it now. You are a cleric. What's there to say? She did the impossible, actually uniting the rowdy Halfways tribe. Before her, we were close to being kicked out of the city. Really? Damn right. That was before my time, of course, but we had problems with our old council structure. He leans in and whispers to you, the council didn't get along. Not along? So she's a dictator? Does she have a consort of some kind? I'm guessing you enjoy working for her, then? How long have you been working for her? I'm guessing you enjoy working for her, then? I do, cleric. It's good. Does she have a consort of some kind? Why, you interested? He laughs. A defensive laugh. Are you? He stops laughing. No! He looks worried. Cleric, I'm devoted in my service. Lady Sageleaf is one of the greatest goblins who's ever lived. She has no need for consorts. Neither do you. He is idolizing her. He clearly sees her more as a god than a master. And also, he's clearly got the hots for her. How long have you been working for her? The goblin mutters to himself and looks off in the distance. Damn, I guess it's been almost 10 years. Damn, I've only been a cleric for... You pause, he raises his eyebrows. His expression says, do go on. I meant to say I've been the cleric for about 5 years now. My Earthguard training was 3 years, and I've been at the towers for 5. I meant to say I've been the cleric for about 5 years now. He chuckles and stretches a bit. Okay, that's more XP. Time takes us all. Very interesting. No, you know what? It would be an interesting question. So, she's a dictator? Yeah, in a sense. In a sense. Look, I'm all for democracy and modern liberal thought. He points 2 thumbs at himself. Hell, I even used to be a registrated freestrider. Of course, you could tell from the start, the goblin is a moneymaker. But I don't believe in direct democracy. Bureaucracy is a curse born from arcanist bungholes. False and preposterous. Bureaucracy is good and just and is spawned from great minds, not behinds. He gives you a tired look and clicks his tongue. Sometimes you do need a strong, wise leader to unite people. I agree. Earth did the same for my folk. I disagree. Ultimate power corrupts ultimately. You cannot trust a dictator. Allowing one person to wield power to that degree is efficient, but can easily end in trouble for everyone. I'll go with the third one here. You are correct. The important part is just that the leaders, A, remain wise, and B, does not leave power to corrupted idiots. Which, in the old lady's case, she's remained wise, and I see no signs of that changing anytime soon. Right, like Earth, he managed not to be corrupted. That's why we need free striderism across the coast to avoid this conflict. The only way forward is to trust in the wisdom of Asgard, ban hierarchies altogether. I'll go with that. The goblin shrugs. I can't give you an objective truth, sadly. But I know Miska Sageleaf. She is a great leader, and I'm proud to serve her. He truly, truly loves her. No leader rules forever. What about her succession? He looks at his claws. It's complicated. In the case of her passing, she will leave power to the old, but slightly reformed council structure. I'd be on that council, for example. I'm one of the designated elders. So if she died, you'd get more power, eh? Interesting. So she's not leaving an heir? Doesn't sound like she's really planned anything. That's one way of looking at it. Lady Sageleaf has been around for over 30 years. She's going to be around for a hell of a lot longer too. Right now, we have more pressing things to worry about. Very interesting. Anyway. What about you, Cleric? What do you think about the old lady? Let's see, to be honest or to be flattering? The goblin probably does not care too much of your opinion either way, but it can be used against you. The chieftain is a pain, but she does serve her people well. It is admirable. She appears to be a great leader for your people. She seems like a bit of somewhat of a, pain in the buttocks. I don't like her, frown invisibly. I have no strong opinion on your old lady, Snell, nor do I have any strong opinions about anything. I don't know, I'm just gonna say she appears to be a great leader for your people. He scoffs. And what do you really think? Well, she seems like a bit of a, somewhat of a, pain in the buttocks. He lets out a hearty laugh. She can have that effect on people. For some strange reason, tall folk don't tend to enjoy being talked down to by goblins. Nor women. Especially goblin women. Yes, that. Look, it doesn't really matter, but as an elder in this tribe, I can tell you, as a representative of the city, Lady Sageleaf is a source of good in Norwich. I can promise you that. The non-human folk of Norwich are in many ways oppressed by the state and dominant culture, but the goblins have always been most affected. Ever since the horrible genocide. It was a war, a reconquest of fallen land. Shut the fuck up, Strength. A war against a divine god is not a war. It is a one-sided extermination. The goblins did not have to fight. They could have surrendered, like the 3 tribes did. The 3 tribes who were stripped of their culture, their land, and their languages. They were given a new home. They were forced. It was them or us. It was them or us. That is what you tell yourself at night. The goblin rubs his eyes. Gesture towards him. It's good to see this. See what? Positive interaction imminent. Comment on the niceness of this unity. It's good to see a goblin adjusting to Novikian life. It's good to see someone honoring his duty. It's refreshing. It's good to see this, the city and goblins working together at last. I'll go with that. Your companion allows the echo of your words to die further down the hallway. Then a faint smile on his face. A conflicted smile. You ever meet him? Him? Think for a second, then speak. Who? Earth. The goblin. Asking about your god? He must be growing interested in religion, having witnessed your example. Just casually asking if you've met your god. No, Snell. Earth faded before I was born. I never got the chance. No, of course not. I'm not that old. No, Snell. Earth faded before I was born. Snell nods. First generation post-Earth, huh? It's for the best. Never meet your heroes, right? Well, we guard the idea of Earth. We will continue his duty. It really sucks. It's for the best. Never meet your heroes, right? I imagine those hedonists chanting Tokek's name wouldn't be too cheerful if he returned either. Nor every other zealot raging across the coast for dead gods. The goblin spits out and leans back against the wall. I always hated Earth. Excuse me? He scratches his nose. I grew up being told to be grateful. But let me ask you this, cleric. If you were the last of your kind, one of maybe 8 or 9,000 humans left in the world, and you were told to be grateful to be alive just because the same monster that destroyed your entire culture also decided to let you live for some reason, would you be grateful? He speaks of the goblin genocide. The goblin genocide, the destruction of the goblin clans of Ascani by Earth around 50 years ago. 3 clans were then integrated into Norwich, with their new generation being put through human schooling. And the goblin genocide was Earth's greatest mistake. There aren't many humans left in the world either, Snell. Oh, grateful. Move on. The goblin genocide was Earth's greatest mistake. I mean, that kind of makes it seem like I'm saying, oh, it was just a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes, which isn't really what I want to, say with that. But I guess it depends on how it will be interpreted, the sentence, because I guess you could interpret it in multiple ways. He lets out a mocking laugh. It's good to know our current predicament was due to a mistake. Thanks for clearing that up. Grateful. The goblin stares at you. He's expecting nothing good to come out of your mouth. Should you be grateful? It's a hard question. A man should not simply lie down and take whatever subjugation arrives at the hand of a tyrant. But sometimes a man also has to make difficult decisions to protect those he loves. You can be grateful if you were allowed to live. It was probably because you did something the dead ones didn't. No. Let's not say something like that. That would be insane. I would be grateful. I would hate the monster who destroyed my people. I would be confused. I would be careful. I don't know what I would feel. It would be a death of the soul. I don't care. This is something for goblins to think about, not men. I would hate the monster who destroyed my people. His stern expression drops. Who wouldn't? Snell clicks his tongue and gets up. Every goblin asks themselves that question. To be a Cran or not to be a Cran? Cran, the goblin who signed the Goblin Treaty. He served Earth for many years as a warrior of Norwich. We all got different answers. What to do when the past is erased. He groans and shakes his legs a bit. They must have fallen asleep from sitting on the dungeon floor. Some focus on building something, culturally or politically. Some try to get rich in this new free-strider world. Some of us, his voice trails off as he stares back into the fiery hallway. You hate Earth, the goblin nods. A little bit of hate, yeah. But afterwards, I only do one thing, cleric. I serve Lady Sageleaf. Snell turns back to you, his expression calm, collected. That's enough for me. Your heart is beating fast, you can hear it. Every word out of Snell's mouth is tinged with generations of pain. His father's father, who was slain by the god you uphold as the one highest god. How does that work? The answer is it doesn't. Earth destroyed folk. He personally performed multiple folkmord. So that is that a Swedish word? I think the creator of the game is Swedish. It sounds very similar to the German word, which is Völkermord. Folkmord, a dwarven term meaning genocide. It was originally coined by Asgal himself, who used it to support the idea of folk rights. Folk rights, rights inherent to all sentient beings, regardless of folk type, sex, nationality, ethnicity, language, religion, or any other status. Originally spread by Asgal, and is today a hotly debated topic across the coast. Sex, the dwarven for the number 6, never stops being funny. Ah, yeah, okay. Universal mechanism of all mortal folk. A beautiful union between those who carry the burden of life upon their souls. Fun. Snell shows great restraint every day, and you test him each moment. Okay, so where were we? that was a detour. Nod. Your companion looks at you for a while. His yellow eyes seem to behold you, seeking another answer. This one's on me. What? This short rest, it's on me. Breather, take a breather with Snell. Okay. 8 hit points. Lovely. The sprite light fizzles out, just in time. I'm good to go now. Get up and get going, and leave. Okay. Whew, that was a lot of talking. I need to drink some water, I'm sorry. Give me a second. But I see this game really does take after Disco Elysium by delving into heavier topics as well, which I appreciate. Because, yeah, fantasy games can be lighthearted fun and all that, but there is no reason why it shouldn't also handle topics like that. Those are stories that can be told in many ways, as long as they're told in, like, you know, ways that aren't, you know, I don't know how to put it, you know. Oh, okay, there's a storage facility of sorts. And what's over here? Is this the other side of the ooze? I know there's a way in. I'll go there in a second. No, this is a crumbled pathway. The ooze is over here. I see. And this is the other side of the ooze. Now we're on the dark side of the ooze or something like that.